This is Buck, and this is Tattoos in Review. Today we're back in Deptford, New Jersey at the Convent Tattoo Shop. We're going to meet up with artist Amber Gibb. Amber is a former art school student and ex-Marine who's been tattooing for 2 years. She's already shown an incredible amount of talent in that short amount of time. Amber loves to do neo-trad and anything with a lot of crazy color. Amber will also dabble in black and gray as well. If you need to see her work, make sure you check out her Instagram at Occasionally Dope, and also stick around for this episode. Amber is a star on the rise, and this interview shows that she's willing to learn at any rate. Now let's step inside and let's get in it. Hey Amber, thanks for doing this interview for me today. I know you're real busy and catching you between appointments, so appreciate you taking the time. We're going to just jump right into it. How did you get into tattooing?
It was kind of like a spur of the moment, kind of time and place kind of thing. Got out of the Marine Corps, didn't really know what I was going to do with my life, and I started going to college, and COVID hit, and I was like flunking out of college, and somebody messaged me. They were like, hey, you ever thought about being a tattoo apprentice? I posted a lot of my art on Instagram before doing this, and I guess they found it, and they were like, hey, like, you ever thought about it? I was like, you know what, might as well. So I dropped out college, and I just kind of started, apprenticing, and I kind of fell in love with it, and it's kind of just been this crazy time.
Where did you apprentice at?
I started at a shop in where I used to live in Pemberton. Pretty toxic, rather not name drop them or anything like that. But I left that shop, and I continued my apprenticeship at Inkology in Southampton. Okay. And that was a good time. Everybody there is super great, super helpful. Who taught me a lot, really let me kind of do my own thing. I was there for the rest of it.
How long? About
a year and a half.
Okay.
Until I moved here in the beginning of the year.
And then this is the first shop you actually worked at?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's go back to the Marine Corps real quick. How long were you in?
Just 4 years.
Yeah.
Just a single contract.
And what did you do?
I was an ammo tech, so I counted bullets all day.
The irony of that is I have the back truck with the gun, so it's crazy. That's awesome. All right, cool. The only reason I'm asking is I got a couple buddies that are Marines, so they be pissed if I didn't ask.
That's fair.
Right on. Where were you at?
I was at Lejeune in North Carolina.
Okay.
The entire time. So,
the entire time?
The entire time.
Hey, well, it's better than getting shipped overseas, I guess.
I wanted it, but they wouldn't give it to me though.
Okay. So altogether, how long have you been tattooing for?
I'm coming up on 2 years in August, so pretty fresh meat.
Okay. Yeah, but you know what? I seen some of your work. I actually saw the tattoo you did today, and your lines are crisp. You know what I mean? So to me, if I looked at your tattoo, I wouldn't have known it was 2 years. I've seen guys that are 20 years that don't have lines that clean. So, I mean, I think that goes back to you being an artist. Did you start drawing as a kid?
Yeah.
Just started getting into it?
I took AP art in high school. I was just drawing for years and years, and then I fell off art after the Marine Corps because I just never had time to do it. And then when I was in college, I started picking it up again, and I think that kind of jump-started this entire thing.
What were you going to college for?
So I started criminal justice, and then I decided that, if I wanted to be in the FBI, that I would need something that wasn't criminal justice, so I switched to psychology, and then the VA was like, oh, you're disabled. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to the FBI anytime soon. So I was actually going to be a child psychologist instead.
Okay.
Things don't happen the way they want to,
Hey, this turns out to be the career that you meant to be. I know somebody that was a child psychologist. She actually wrote a book. She lived out in Seattle. I don't know if she's there now, but she was pretty big in the child psychology realm, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah.
She had a really bad car accident, and now she's got like childhood mentality. Pretty sad, actually. Went to high school with her.
Wow.
I don't want to name drop her just in case.
Fair enough.
Yeah, she's did some amazing work from what I understand. What would you say is your style?
I don't think I've really pinpointed my style yet. I know what styles I like to do. I'm really into neo-traditional, really into big, bold color. I don't get to do it a lot, so I don't really get to, be too picky on what I do right now, which, it comes with only doing it for 2 years.
Time and clientele.
Yeah, so I'm still working on, building up clientele and stuff like that, and trying to get into, developing my own style and getting people to actually want to come to me for that.
Okay. Do you have like a favorite?
Definitely neo-trad. But I also really like watercolor and stuff like that. So honestly, anything with color, anything with crazy colors.
Yeah, right on. That's kind of my deal.
Yeah.
Would you say that that's the style too that you would draw or paint?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I mean, the way I drew was very illustrative. A lot of line weights involved, varying line weights and different types of shading, like cross-hatching and stippling and stuff like that. I never used to draw anywhere close to like any traditional style, but starting to tattoo and exploring those different styles is the one that really I gravitate to, like actually tattooing. Because I'm not really into doing the illustrative kind of tattoos like I was with drawing and painting.
Right.
I enjoy the thick lines and like I said, bold colors and stuff like that.
So I know a couple guys that were graffiti artists that are now tattooists, and it fits them perfect.
Yeah.
Because of the thick, bold lines, bright colors, it's like, it's almost a perfect fit.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking, like, as far as like your style that you artistically do, as painting or drawing or whatever. So at this point, you've only been tattooing for a short time. Have you had any type of challenging clientele so far?
You have your clients that are they just don't really know what they want. You kind of have to sit with them and probe them for a little bit longer than other clients. But ultimately, it's about them. You're putting something on them permanently for the rest of their lives. Unless they get it covered up or whatnot. But you just do what they want and they're happy. That's really the ultimate goal, is for them to be happy, I guess.
So as far as like aftercare and stuff like that, are you traditional Aquaphor, Aveeno? Do you do, Saniderm, that kind of stuff? What do you prefer?
I go based off of my personal feeling for my tattoos, and I really like using the Saniderm. I use recovery wrap, and I don't see myself healing without a wrap. I do give my clients an option, especially if they have like adhesive allergies or anything like that, or really sensitive skin. It's probably not the best for them to use Saniderm or anything like that. And a lot of clients do just opt for, the A&D Aquaphor combo with the saran wrap, and bing bam boom, they're on their way. But I definitely prefer the Saniderm.
I've used both, and I think it depends on the spot for me. For me personally, I'm one of those people that sweats too much, so it can become difficult at times. The concept of it and being able to keep it clean and not get bacteria and stuff is phenomenal.
Things stick to your sheets.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yep.
You wake up with the imprint on your...
Got all my dog hair in there.
Yep. So that's always a plus. With you being new too, do you constantly look at like new styles and stuff like that? Like, how do you kind of keep up with the trends and whatnot?
Yeah, definitely. I look at styles. I see styles that like I just don't want to do. Like, I just know that technically it's not fun for me. I've tried realism. I don't think I'm terrible at it, but it's also not fun for me. I don't like sitting there for 6 to 8 hours doing one piece and not even finishing it. And it's all just I'm just copying and pasting.
Yeah.
With, picture onto skin. It's not for me. there's American traditional stuff like that. Obviously, I respect it. I respect the industry enough to be like, hey, American traditional, cool. I'm not a fan of actually tattooing it. It takes, too limited of a color palette for me. It's a little bit quick.
Would you turn down a tattoo?
Right now, no.
Okay.
Right now, I'm not in a spot where I can turn down a tattoo. I have said to some people, hey, I don't feel comfortable tattooing that, especially if it's not in my wheelhouse. Like, there's no way I can do a portrait. I'll never do a portrait of a face. I'm not.
Oh, so that's
I'm
kind of
not good at drawing them. I'm not good at even, stenciling them. I wouldn't even know where to start. And like I said, I'm not into realism, so I have no desire to learn how to do that. That's kind of the stuff I stay away from. But anything that I know that I can't do, I'll turn away. But otherwise, if I'm capable of it, even if I don't want to do it, I'll do it.
So I think it's awesome that I'm catching you so early in your career, because you know what? How would you recommend somebody trying to get into this business? And I think you're going to bring a unique perspective to that.
Well, I think I can definitely recognize I got lucky. I got really lucky having somebody come to me. I know that's incredibly rare.
Right.
Somebody coming to me and asking me if I wanted to do an apprentice with them, regardless, even if you have to go out and look for it and you have to look and look and look for it, being an apprentice is the way to go. It's how you learn the fastest. It's how you, expose yourself to the industry, to all these incredible artists. Like, if you go and sit and you buy an Amazon machine and you're tattooing in your mom's basement, like, you're not going to get the same progression as somebody when you're working in a shop surrounded by people who are constantly looking over you and saying, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're holding this wrong, your needle's out too far. You don't get that when you just scratch, in a kitchen. So definitely get an apprenticeship.
So as far as machines go, are you rotary or?
Definitely rotary.
Okay.
Definitely rotary. I tried coils out. It's just a little too aggressive for me. I don't like the sound. I don't like the vibration. And I tried it. I know how to use it. I know how to, mess with it, get it to do what I need it to do. But I just prefer rotaries. It's just a lot more convenient not having a wire that I have to work around. Especially with the positions I put myself in, just manipulating body parts, and I just don't want to be flinging wires everywhere.
Gotcha.
And trip over it. I'm a klutz anyway. I'd be tripping over my own chair. So.
Nice. Do you have an Instagram page?
I do.
What is it?
Yeah, it's occasionally dope.
And then, do you have any other socials that you want to mention?
Nah, you really just book through my Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, as far as somebody that wants to get ink from you, so you're saying to go through Instagram to message you, and then what do you usually do, like a consult?
Yeah, so we just talk. You send some pictures over of your inspiration and stuff like that. A little description of what you're looking for. If you want to do some research into what kind of style you're looking for, if you want trad, or you want more illustrative, or you want this and that, I can kind of guide in the right direction, what the design would look best in, and especially where it is on the body, how to design it, go over all of that, what size you're looking for and stuff like that.
Well, plus, if they're looking at your Instagram page, they're seeing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would expect nobody coming to you with some crazy stuff that you don't even have on your page.
Well, you'd be surprised.
Okay.
It starts out, hey, I love your work, and then it's like, I want this, and I've never done it before. So, I get curveballs.
Okay.
And I just kind of take it for what it is and try to figure out the best way possible to do it for them.
Do you have any memorable pieces that you've done so far? Anything that sticks out in your brain?
I'm working on a full sleeve right now. A client of mine who came to me with a full neo trad, blackout background floral for all his kids' birth flowers and stuff like that. It's coming out really cool, and we've been working on it for about, I would say, almost a year now.
Okay.
So he comes in every so often. That's probably one of the favorite pieces I've been working on.
What would you say is your longest tattoo session you've done so far?
In a single session, 9 hours.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was actually, it was only 9 hours because it was like a month into my apprenticeship and I had no idea what I was doing. It didn't come out bad.
Okay.
Obviously took my time on it.
Yeah.
But it was 9 hours.
Wow.
I've never sat for that long in my life.
Have you ever been able to do any of the tattoo conventions?
No. I've wanted to, but I emailed a guy once to see if I can get a spot. He didn't answer me. So, I'm gonna just wait until next year, where I'm a little bit more established and, I can book people for it. I don't want to really do the walk-up kind of thing. I feel like that's really hectic and heard some horror stories about conventions. So I definitely want to do one, at least, in my career, but...
So here at the shop, do you do cash, credit? Do you do any of the other, like Venmo, any of that crazy stuff?
Yeah, whatever works,
Okay.
I'm not trying to cut people off, I'll do cash, I'll do card, Venmo, Cash App.
So how would you handle, the expectations of somebody with tattoos? So, if somebody brings this, it's in your wheelhouse, okay? But it's this crazy, you can tell the picture's doctored and stuff like that. How do you work through that conversation with the customer?
Most of the time, I'll just redesign it, my style or whatnot, and be straightforward with them. Like this is probably what it's gonna look like. I only use colors that I know feel well that I've used before. I don't try to go for colors I don't have or colors that I need to mix. Because obviously if I mix a color and it needs a touch up, I'm gonna be screwed. I'm screwing myself. So I only use what I know I have. And then, when they come in and they look over the design and I explain to them, especially if it's like color or anything like that, you kind of just have to tell them, hey, it's not gonna feel as vibrant, but it'll still be saturated as long as you take care of it.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing your work in the future. I think that your work right now is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to, the next couple of years to see what it looks like.
Me too.
You're just gonna get better, right? Just like anything else, you get better as you go. Is there anything I didn't ask you today that you think I should have brought up, or anything about you personally that you want to bring up?
No, that was pretty thorough.
Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I know it was a busy day for you today, so.
That's what it is.
It's awesome, though. Thank you. All right, so if anybody wants to check out Amber, hit her up on her Instagram page, which was...
Occasionally dope.
There you go, folks. So thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate it.